Hey, what's up, my YouTube fam? I'm back. This is Larry with Invest and Build Your Credit and Wealth. Hey, today we got an exciting class. We're going to be talking about charge-offs, talk about 1099-Cs. We're going to talk about what's the difference between a collection account and charge-offs. We're going to talk a little bit about strategies. We're going to bring the truth. I'm doing a lot of research on charge-offs and just what should you do in these particular situations when you have a charge-off. And we're going to dig down and we're going to be truthful about charge-offs. I'm not going to give you a bunch of what I think. I'm going to tell you what the possibilities are. I'm going to tell you what strategies you can use, why you should use these strategies, if they're going to work, all of that. We're going to be honest. But let's talk about this first. I want to thank all my new subscribers that come into the channel. Please, thank you for subscribing. Please like, share, and hit the thumbs up. Like, share, subscribe. You know the deal. It's to help me push this content out a little bit more. Again, I'm going to be doing more videos. I'm trying to put a class together. I've been getting people that have been emailing me about, can you do a class about Metro 2? So I am putting together a class about Metro 2. For y'all that may not never heard of Metro 2 or don't know what Metro 2 is, it is the standard guideline for how creditors are supposed to report information to the credit bureaus. That's how, with the codes and everything they send, to make sure it reports accurately on your credit report. We're gonna go through all that. There's certain things that doesn't say in the Fair Credit Reporting Act, but it does says it in Metro 2. Breaks it down a little bit more. That's why it's all about accurate information, and it's all about challenging the inaccuracies based on what Metro 2 says, how it should be reported on your credit report. That's how you get this stuff off, right? So when you don't hear people talking about Metro 2, they're not following what the industry says, how they're supposed to be reporting this information. And if you understand that, it definitely increases your chances of getting inaccurate information off your credit report. And that's the other class I am working on to put it together. I've been having people ask me about that because I talk about it, and that's what I want to do. So today we're definitely going to be talking about charge-offs and collection accounts. We're going to be talking about the truth about them. We're going to be talking about 1099-Cs. How does a 1099-C work? Does it remove it from your credit report? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about quite a few things. So, hey, bear with me. You know the deal. Get your pen and paper out. Excuse me. Get your pen and paper out, and then let's get into it. Okay? So, charge-offs and collection accounts. The only difference between the two is that the original creditor, like a Bank of America, is still in ownership of the account, which is a charge-off. So that happens after about 6 months. A bank or a financial institution, credit card, or whoever it may be, has deemed that they are no longer going to be collecting, or have deemed this account is non-collectible. So they charge off the account. The charge off of the account is so they can report that to the IRS that this is a loss of income, a loss of profits, right? And that's how they notify the IRS, right? A collection account, its only difference is that that account, even though it was charged off, has now been has been assigned to a collection company or has been sold to a debt buyer, right? Once that account is sold to a debt buyer, they can no longer be reporting a balance on the charge-off, but the charge-off is still there, right? But now the collection company is holding the rights, or saying they're holding the rights to that debt, and now they're going to try to get that debt. That's the only difference. One is with the original creditor. Now that it's with a collection agency, it's deemed a collection, right? So That's the only difference in the two. Now, you hear a lot of things about 1099Cs. I did a lot of research. Like the last few days, I've been just researching, looking up, reading about 1099Cs. A 1099C is a cancellation of debt. Now, there are two different ways you can get that 1099C. A bank could just issue you a 1099C. You haven't settled it, you haven't done. They just sent you a 1099C for the whole amount. Mind you, if you get that 1099C, that doesn't remove you from the debt. A lot of people would say it do, but I've been doing all kind of research and everything I've seen say it does not remove you from the debt, and the bank could still come after you for the debt, right? Even though they issued you that 1099C and you applied it to your taxes, right? Doesn't mean it's going to make you pay taxes on it. Doesn't mean it's going to put you in a different tax bracket so you have to pay more taxes. It just means that you were issued that 1099C. Now, the best way to handle that is you do a settlement along with the 1099C. Now what you're saying is, we settled this debt. You agree to what we're settling, right? And then request the 1099C for the remaining balance. Now, if that happens, they've agreed to settle for the amount that you did, and then they'll issue your 1099C. They are going to put on your credit report that it was settled for less than the amount, right? So now a lot of people want to know, okay, if I get that 1099C, will it be removed from my credit report? Now, even me, I say there's a good chance because I've seen it happen both ways. Even in my personal experience, I've seen it happen. I had a car with Capital One. I settled. They sent me a 1099C, and about 30 to 45 days later, that account was no longer reported on my credit report. But no one, not even me, can tell you that every creditor will remove that from your account. Nobody can tell you that, because every creditor is different on how they handle how their credit department handles 1099Cs. Are they going to remove it if you dispute it? Are they going to remove it? All those different type of things. You also need to look at, is it reporting accurate? So even though you get this 1099C and you settle, are they reporting that information correctly on your credit report? The main thing we got to talk about, everybody talk about when it comes to credit repair, is how information is reporting on your credit report. Is it reporting accurately or inaccurately? Those are the two things you need to concentrate on. Is this account reporting accurate or is it reporting inaccurate? If it's reporting accurate, the chances of you probably getting that removed could be 10%. Just maybe because maybe the creditor made a mistake, didn't respond to the credit bureau. The credit bureau removed it off because their credit department did not respond to the investigation that you put forth by the credit bureau. So maybe 10%. Now you have a higher if that information is reported inaccurate based on what the Fair Credit Reporting say. It needs to be accurate information, 100% accurate information reported on your credit report, right? But I looked it up. I did a lot of research. There's nothing that says that it must be removed if you settled the debt and was issued a 1099C. If anybody can find it, let me know, because I did a lot of research, a lot of reading to see, is there anything that says that they must remove it? I'm not saying that they will not. I am telling you, but I could not find anything that said that a creditor must remove the account if they you settled the account and they issued a 1099C. Now, another thing that we need to talk about, you hear people say, if you have a charge off and it report a past due balance, and I'm going to show you right now an account, a charge off account with a past due balance on there. I'm showing it to you right now. Now, with that, you'll hear people tell you that if you settled that debt, and even if they put settle for less than the amount, that it will not help your score. That is a bold-faced story. It's even if you understand FICO and some of the FICO scoring modules, it says that it will. FICO 8 doesn't punish you for anything under $100. Right? Now, is it still show on your credit report? Can it still hurt you? Yes, because it's a negative item that is reporting. But I tell all my clients this, and we have to keep it real with each other. If you have an unpaid debt and you're trying to continue to secure more credit, what you're telling your original creditor is, it's a great possibility I'm not gonna pay you. I didn't pay this last person on my credit report, I'm not gonna pay you. And you're not moving your credit report forward. You're stagnating. You're gonna get to a certain point, your credit score is not gonna go up anymore because you still have outstanding debt reporting. Now, an underwriter looks at it and he's definitely gonna look and say, well, you have 2 charge-offs that you've never even taken care of. I don't want to be the third person that you don't pay. So if you can't get that charge-off off by a 1099-C and settled, you're still moving in the right direction. And you will see. Because in the example that I'm showing you, if you see that past due balance, that's also hurting you. Not only is it a charge-off, you have a past due balance and you have a balance, right? Now, if you wiped out that debt, settled it for less than the amount, the past due balance goes away, the balance goes away. So now, even if you're trying to purchase a home, it's not calculated in your DTI, your debt to income ratio, right? So it's a lot of positives to that people don't think about, right? Your score will go up because the past due balance has been ready. You don't owe that balance. It's under $100 for certain FICO scoring modules. Your score will go up, and it looks better if an underwriter is looking at your credit report. But strategy number 1 is look, are there any inaccuracies? And another thing people don't understand is the creditor has a opportunity to update information. You may dispute something that's wrong, doesn't mean, and it may be inaccurate, doesn't mean the creditor doesn't have an opportunity to correct that information and report it accurately. Doesn't mean that it's got to be reported 100%. It doesn't say they have to remove it and then put it back on there to report it. Well, anyway, they do that. They have to notify you within 5 days. But it's nothing saying that a creditor doesn't have an opportunity to update that information to be reported accurately. So you have to understand that. Because some people get frustrated because they're like, well, it was accurate, it was inaccurate, I challenged it, they didn't remove it, they just updated it, now it's reported accurate. Yes, they have that right to do that. It's nothing saying they do not have that right. Now, I may be the guy that's bringing you not the greatest news, but I'm the guy bringing you honest, because you have to understand so you know what direction to move in to physically update and move your credit report forward. Because remember, that stuff as old and older it gets, it's paid, it looks so much better, you're building your credit, people are giving you more credit. But I'm telling you, sometimes I fight with clients on this topic all the time. I'm like, dude, you cannot, or girl, you cannot, a gal, you cannot continue to keep all this negative debt on your credit report unpaid and expect, because you picked up a few good credit cards and you make an on-time payment, that's not going to affect you moving forward to continue to grow and move your credit forward. It's gonna hold you back unless you're gonna let that ride out for 7 years and 6 months, because typically it's always because your first delinquency date charge off at 6 months. Now it's gonna report, because now it's gonna report for that. It could report up to 7 years, 6 months. So you're gonna let it ride for 7 years. You're 23 years old. You're gonna let it ride on your credit report till you're 30, or you're 30. You're gonna let it ride until you're 37, or if you're 37, you're gonna let it ride till you're 44. I mean, that's not a smart decision to make. It may be on there, but clear up that negative stuff. Been there, done that. Even with my wife, with a video, and we was doing her, I wanted to clear that stuff off, right? And it was easier for me to get it off because I cleared it off. So when I was challenging these things and doing, it was much easier to clean up a paid debt than an unpaid debt. Nobody, you got $6,000 credit card debt, you trying to clear it off, it's gonna be much harder. The creditor is not gonna just let that go. He may be more apt to let it go if you've already paid and settled that debt. There's nothing more he can get. You may find some inaccuracies and you may get it off. They may not even reply, like, it's a waste of time, we're too busy. We didn't even get back to it. We didn't respond to Oscar, So you holding on and just trying to say, I ain't paying this, I'm not gonna do it. I mean, to each his own. I'm just telling you from doing this and doing my research and understanding, credit, understanding the FICO scoring module. I mean, you're not helping yourself, you're hurting yourself. So, but challenges you can do, fair credit, you can try to, I tell everybody, try to get a 1099-C and let's try to dispute it off. Let's see if there's some inaccurate information and try to dispute it off. But in a short term, we can clear off this debt. You're good. We can move forward. I can help you build your credit. I can help overshadow that charge off that you owe zero on, right? Then trying to overshadow a charge off that you owe $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 on, right? It's harder for me to help you build your credit when you got unpaid debt like that, right? The system is set up. It's set up to make it difficult for you. Yes, there's some creditors out there that can but are you going to pay monthly fees on those cards? You may get, there are creditors that will give you credit, Fingerhut to give you credit, a secure credit card, but your credit score is only going to go up so much because unpaid debt is going to put it to a ceiling. Right? There's a lot of fintech companies out there that use your banking information and not your credit report, and report on your credit report. But your score is still gonna hit the wall because of unpaid collection accounts, right? And that's what we want to talk about. We talk about collection accounts all the time, but I want to focus on these charge-offs because it's the biggest thing and the biggest thing most people are trying to get off these charge-off accounts. You definitely want to try to take care of it before you get a collection, because now you're going to have a collection account and a charge-off account, and now we're trying to get the collection account off, but the charge-off is just, you definitely want to try to handle that before it gets to the collection. It's just more work to try to clean. Collection accounts are much easier to get off, but those charge-offs are very difficult. Metro 2 tells any original creditor that you cannot remove accurate information. It's in Metro 2. I can read it to you. I can show it to you. I can give you the credit resource guide, what it is in. That's what it says. So, but I'm not saying that a creditor won't do it. I'm just telling you what the manual says, right? So what I would do is try to get a 1099, settle the debt, try to get a 1099-C, and let's try to dispute that account off your credit report. Let's try to see if there's inaccurate information and dispute it off your credit report, right? But I want to come at you with some real knowledge about charge-off accounts. And I don't want to give you no fluff and then give a bunch of people false hope, and then they're trying all this stuff and it's not working. So the main thing I want you to understand is nothing in any manual, any publication, any writing about 1090C that said is a requirement for a creditor to remove a charge off that you settled and was issued a 1099C off your credit report. And if you didn't, if you just received a 1099C, they could still come after you for the money. It does not alleviate that debt. It doesn't wipe that debt out, right? So you can look it up, you can read it, you can Google it, and you'd be like, yep, Larry's right. It doesn't. But if you settled that account, now it becomes where you and the bank or a creditor agreed to a certain amount to say that we will no longer go after you to collect any of these funds for you. And then they may issue a 1099C for you to file on your taxes. Remember, the 1099C is between the creditor and the IRS. It has nothing to do with the Fair Credit Reporting Act or the Credit Bureau. It is from the creditor to the IRS. It is information that the creditor is sending the IRS about profits and loss. That's what it is. And then they issue that to you, so the IRS know that the bank or financial issued you a 1099C, and this information was supposed to be reported on your credit report. That's the circle that it's in. Now, yes, it's a cancellation of debt. That's the name of it. It's a cancellation of debt. So, but if you get that, yes, try to dispute it off your credit report. But I or nobody else in this industry can guarantee you that that's going to happen. But I will tell you that once you settle that account, get that account to zero, get that past due balance to zero, it will help your score some. It will help your score. It will not keep your score at the same level it was at. So I just want to kind of come at y'all with that. If you have any questions about charge-off accounts or wasn't clear about something, please email me. My email is in the description. Email me. I answer any questions. If you want a credit analysis to know what you could do, what's reported inaccurate on your credit report, I give free credit analysis, right? I will give you a free credit analysis. Email me. I will go over your credit report with you. All I ask you, sign up for Identity IQ. I will go over your credit report with you so I can pull it, tell you what you need to do, what can you do to improve it, what's hurting your credit score. I go over the whole nine from A to Z with you. I won't charge you anything. Nothing is out your pocket because I definitely want to help you. So if you have any questions, shoot me an email about anything, collection accounts, charge off, repossessions. I mean, anything that you want to discuss with me about how to improve your credit, what's going on with inquiries. I'm gonna have a class on inquiries too, because a lot of misinformation out there about inquiries, but we're gonna have a class about that. But the next class is about Metro 2. I know I've been having some people really, Larry, when you gonna do a class about Metro 2? When you gonna do a class about Metro 2? So if you have any questions, if you want to purchase my master dispute package, a lot of this information is already in the package for you to work on your own credit. Everybody buy that package. If you have a question, usually they have my email address, they have my phone number. I answer any questions because you purchased that package. I don't sell people packages and leave them out. If they have any questions, they can always call me and ask the question about something on how they should approach the situation with their credit. So I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Thank you for all my subscribers and new subscribers. The next class, like I said, and I'm gonna do a post on YouTube to let you know it's coming. But we're gonna definitely talk about Metro 2. I think it's important for people to understand Metro 2 and what it says and how creditors report information and how to challenge that information when you're sending in your dispute letters. So if you have any questions or anything, you know the deal. Hit me up. I appreciate y'all. Like, subscribe, share. Like, subscribe, share. And thank you very much. You have a blessed evening.